Okay, we're moving on to the outside arcs. And to do this, you're going to want to find your center points on either end. So you can finger press or you can press. I'm just going to quickly press this with an iron. And what I have found is for the center, I like to press them right side out because otherwise I tend to get a fold in this. Not that that's a big deal. This one's already pressed from when I cut it. If I was going to press it again, I'd do it the other way so these would nestle. So anyway, match your centers. Like that. And now we'll go to the machine. All right, we're going to stitch the background arc to the center, and you should have your 1/4 inch pink vinyl. Jennifer has it on for right-handed people. I have it on this way for left-handed people, but we can deal with that. The reason we have this is because when you go to start your seam, you want this little V to be 1/4 inch in. So if you line it up with this, you'll see 1/4 inch. All right, we'll see if I can use this machine or not.
You can do it. I believe in you.
Okay, so I just start with a few stitches. Then I stop. And I go back to where my pin is. And I use my fingers as pins. So I get this lined up, put a finger down. Get that lined up, put a finger down. Get that lined up, put a finger down. Get this lined up, put another finger down, and there we go. And then as I go, I just start removing my fingers and make sure that's nice and lined up.
Don't sew over your fingers.
That's why you have your foot. But that's always good advice. And you can see where it's going to fold right here. I'm not worried about it because the fold is not going under the needle, so I'm not going to create a pleat. Now, coming out of this center, the problem is you don't have a bias right here. It's straight of grain. So I hold off going to the middle and I just stitch about 1 inch just to get out of that non-stretchy area. And then I'm going to come to this end and do the same thing. I want my V at about 1/4 inch. And once you do it for a while, you'll kind of know what it looks like.
And Trish, you notice she didn't use the pink. She used the 1/4 inch
Actually,
line.
I used my eyeball.
Well,
but yes, you
that.
can use this.
But there's 1/4
if you
inch.
have a 1/4 inch line here, if you're lucky enough. My machine doesn't have that. But I have my pink thing over here so I can do it.
Right, and I do find having the pink vinyl on the diagonal, on the angle like that, does make a big difference. It's a lot easier.
Exactly. Mine's at a diagonal too. Mine's just over.
And I do want to get back to what Trish said about eyeballing it. You really will be able to eyeball this. After you make as many as we have,
exactly.
you can eyeball
it. Okay, so I do the same thing. I just come in and use my fingers again as little pins.
Okay, and while she's doing that, the reason, if you're new to everyday curve piecing, the reason we want to offset it like that is because that is your seam allowance, and that will make your curve lay flat. It's very important.
It's just like when you're putting a half square triangle onto a square, you have that
same issue, yeah.
Okay. And then I try to remove my pen before I get to the end.
Yeah.
Jennifer, we keep going.
I try. I really do.
Every now and then. I've got plenty of bent pins too.
Yeah.
But we use thin pins.
I like the thin pins.
So that
they don't distort the fabric.
Well, and they don't break your needle.
Well,
the pin will bend.
That too.
And then just repeat it on the other side. Okay, so the outside arcs are on and pressed. Press with the seam allowance going out, otherwise you're going to have a lot of bulk you're trying to fold in, so just let it go out. And now we're just going to trim these sides to make our apple cover. So just take the original template, the larger template, and this is background piece B, and just lie it on here and line it up And this is a little off, but it's not going to matter. Just trim that off. The other thing you could do is you could fold this in half, just so you have options. Use that Drunkard's Path line and line that up here and line this part with this curve here and the Drunkard's Path there. And then trim that. I usually do it the other way, but I had some that I did this way for some reason. It seemed easier. And there you go.